everyone, and welcome back. We are looking at a Ninjago Dragons Rising set. This is Lloyd's Green Forest Dragon, set number 71829. Uh, Interesting set. The fact that Lego using the Ninjago, they're creating their own. Really their own sets, their own creations. They're not dependent on anyone else's imagination in coming up with this stuff. Um, it's really kind of nice, and it does help keep the cost down. So when we are looking at getting sets like this for the kids or ourselves or whatever, it is usually a little bit cheaper. They don't have to pay the licensing fees on all that stuff. So now I've already got this put together. I do have all this filmed so we can get into this. Unfortunately, my microphone on my camera is starting to go, so we are going to have to start trying to figure out exactly how we're going to fix some of these things. But we're going to stop. We'll go into getting this put together. It is 2 bags in there, as well as having our instruction manual. So, and we'll go from there. All right, so looking at our dragon, really this would be more of a wyvern. Dragons typically have, the our back legs and front legs, much like what we see here in our little baby dragon here. Um, but it's not bad. Really is a very nice set. Love the wings. This is very nicely done with the wings. This is almost something you might want to get some extra pair of wings for some other builds that you might want to do, just because how really cool they are. I don't know if they did any other sets, but we might have to look into something else here. I know that there's another Green Dragon set out there, so we may have to work on that one as well at some point. Um, but So we do have a little baby dragon minifigure, which is always nice and cool. Always wonderful getting some other animals. Little minifigures work out great. We do have Lloyd in the green. Um, when we take his helmet off, we see one face, and then here's his nice and calm face. But what we do not have is any extra um, hair or anything else. So if you want him to run around without his head on or hood, um, you're going to have to do it without, um, or either without hair, or you'll have to find some hair for him. I don't know what kind of hair he's supposed to have. To be honest, I really have not watched much of the Ninjago. I do remember a long time ago watching the Ninjago movie, where the bad guy I think maybe it was Lloyd's father. Um, but either way, we do seem to have a little bit of a newer style of katana holder on the back. Um, it's at least a little bit newer to me. I'll say it in that regard. And we do have a pauldron going off the opposite arm. So very nicely done. Nice colorization there. And then we have our Dragon Scout, Dragonian Scout. Um, so he does have little claws here. Um, there's a part of me that wonders if he would not be a little bit closer to maybe a kobold or something. Kind of hard to say because I know kobolds do worship the dragons. These could be kind of dragonish worshippers that then undergo a transformation due to their um, dragon patron. To say it in that regard, uh, not too bad. I just put those on there because I had the extra pieces. I think that makes it look a little bit cooler, especially if we're saying that they are dragonish. Kind of gives a little extra there. Again, some nice coloration. The axe is nicely done, having the two blades there. And then there's also, some nice coloration on the back. So getting into our dragon itself, uh, to me, it's more of a wyvern, but either way, it still has time to grow and turn into a dragon if you want to say that they evolve from being a tiny little dragon to more of a wyvern and then to a great dragon. That's all fine and dandy. Or if you'd say that they're completely different species, like it would be listed in like the fifth edition, or actually in Dungeons and Dragons throughout the years. Um, and I don't know how their mythology works for dragons, to be honest. Uh, so, looking at this, and my first take of this, I kind of mentioned because these are a lighter color, kind of translucent. I don't know if their idea of how they do their breath attack, which traditionally would be a poisonous gas. Um, Here it almost looks like it could be like a lightning bolt or something like that. I don't know, again, their mythology of how this all works for them, but it almost looks like it would be more of a lightning attack, having these light up maybe and going from there. Not saying it couldn't be that way. You know, Everyone's got their own mythologies and how they want to do it. Nice thing is that there are no stickers here. So when you're talking about younger kids trying to put this together, especially for a 6+, we don't have to worry about trying to get the stickers onto the face to try and make the face look good. Um, a sticker here wouldn't be all that bad, but it's nice, especially for a younger um, child trying to put all this on. It does make that a lot nicer. The only other complaints I've really had with this is the fact that this is not a ball joint here. So it's not like you can swing the legs back when it's flying. I mean, you can kind of put the legs up, but it looks, you know, you're raising your legs up when you're flying. That doesn't look quite right. So I think you're probably just going to leave them down. And most of the time, I think you're probably just going to have it sitting here on the table anyhow. But having this looking up or kind of done out here and the way the head looks, I think it would be very nice if you could kind of have this hanging from the ceiling where it looks like it's looking down, tilted or whatever, like it's searching for something to munch on, some nice, delicious, um, rabbit, squirrel, whatever. Uh, Maybe if it's big enough, maybe the neighbor's goat, uh, and have the neighbor upset with you. But either way, it is very nicely done. I do like this. Like I said, the only actual complaint I have is maybe if we had a ball joint back here so you could kind of swing the legs back a little bit as it's flying through, but it's not a major deal. Most people will probably leave it on a table like this anyhow. Um, so as we have Lloyd sitting here and maybe the dragon's kind of trying to nudge up against him. And then as we have our Dragonian scout here trying to fight and say, hey, I want the dragon power or something like that, or the uh, dragon lane here. So, but with that being said, it's a nice set. It is really good, and I'm happy to have it part of our collection here to terrorize all of our Lego minifigures for whatever the adventures we come up with. And I do have ideas for adventures with a wide range of the things that I've collected here. Doing it as more of a role playing game, it having figures to fill in the gaps and that. And like I said, having a basis, this works out really well. And if you're new to this is a 3x3 plate with a 3x1 that upscales to just A2 uh, dot base. So that way they're centered in there. So when you're running it on a traditional map of 1 inch square, this is 1 inch square. So that works out really well. All right. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.